Things just took a wild turn in oil country as we have multiple Oilers injury updates, all that and more today on Oilers Digest. You know, that Oiler team last night, we're still trying to figure out what exactly happened. I mean, there was the perfect storm. You mean you got physicality from, minute 1 to minute 60 from the Oilers. You got goaltending. You got a shutout from Stuart Skinner. You got more depth scoring from Adam Henrique putting up 2, and Evander Kane also getting on the score sheet too. So, you could have some returning Oilers to make this team even deeper than we thought. And that's scary heading into the rest of the postseason. I mean, watch out the rest of the league. But we are on the road to 3,100 subscribers, on the road to 4,000. So help us get one step closer by hitting that button down below for any and all Oiler news. Oilers Digest is your place to be. So you haven't already hit that subscribe button already? Why don't you do? Hit that right now. Right now. But let's get right into the news, everybody. What the heck? Yes, Mattias there's been a hole on the blue line, not really filled by anybody, but Mattias still missed by this Oiler team and fans alike. I know last month, following a game against the San Jose Sharks, when he re-aggravated his injury, no one knows what it is for certain, nor should we know. I mean, that is none of our business heading into these playoffs. That is only for the Oilers to know. But, April 12th, last month, as today is May 13th. So, of course, it's been a month since this news from Ryan Rishaug, saying tough news for the Oilers in Ekholm, hearing there are further tests to be done, but it's believed to be a serious injury. That worst case scenario may end the season, but best case scenario will keep him sidelined for quite some time, and we all feared the worst, but it looks like the best case scenario was in play. Here's yesterday from Edmonton Sports Talk Radio in Tom Gazzola said some good news on the Mattias Ekholm front as he's begun skating again. However, I'm told he's still weeks away at best from returning. Is okay, a bit of an update. It's always nice to know on Mattias Ekholm from head coach Kris Knoblauch today gave another update on everyone's favorite defenseman on the Oilers. If it's not even Bouchard, it's probably Mattias Ekholm from TSN's Ryan Rishaug yet again. Says Knoblauch says Ekholm may be available next series. He's been taking light skates, and also an update on Cal Pickard. He's still day-to-day, even though TSN's Darren Dreger said he'd still be, Calvin Pickard would still be up to a week there for returning. But the official quote from Kris Knoblauch says Mattias has been on the ice for light skates. He will not be joining us for the series. We're hopeful that he can join us next series if we're able to get to that. And then Calvin's day-to-day there. And now for Mattias Ekholm, he's been a cornerstone of that Oilers blue line. There's some advanced stats from this season with his two most common partners, more so just, Evan Bouchard, even though he did play almost 70 minutes with Darnell Nurse there, but he's been a Swiss Army knife on the Oilers blue line there. You can put anybody on that right side. Mattias Ekholm will make them look better there. I mean, the advanced stats, Ekholm and Bouchard, probably one of the best top pairs in the entire National Hockey League. And I'm just taking my bias glasses off here, folks. I mean, that is a bona fide star pairing there. And if we want to go even further back there, from his arrival in Edmonton at the 2023 NHL trade deadline there, I mean, even better stats with Bouchard there, more minutes there with Darnell Nurse and Brett Kulak. So again, all very positive numbers coming from Mattias Ekholm. I mean, it's not all his doing. It's it's a two-player game on whatever pair he is with. But Mattias Ekholm, again, words cannot be enough to describe how important he is for this Oilers team, and in his potential return in the third round of the Western Conference Finals, again, knock on wood, if the Oilers do manage to get there, will be significant. Of course, we're not expected to, have him go back to, full health right away. Of course, he'd still probably be dealing with, a little bit of an injury there, but I mean, we all saw Evander Kane prove us wrong when he came back, and he went balls to the wall from the get-go in an Oilers jersey from Game 2 against the LA Kings. But Mattias Ekholm, number 14, still a void that's yet to be filled there. And even, last season during the NHL playoffs, Ekholm and Bouchard there, the further they went, the longer their beards got and the better they played. So while the Oilers were trying to figure it out in the bottom four there, with guys like Nurse, Ceci, Desharnais, Broberg, so on and so forth, you could always count on Ekholm and Bouchard to get it done. But of course, his last 5 games in an Oiler uniform, putting up not as big numbers as we'd expect him, to have 19 minutes against the Seattle Kraken. Sure, he played 20 minutes in 3 of those games, but still not the minute muncher that we'd expect Mattias to be. And then, of course, you obviously know he was dealing with an injury somewhere after, Christmas with the illness, and then heading into the Four Nations face-off when he played in the Four Nations face-off. And you could obviously tell that he wasn't the same Swedish Viking that we've all known to love. But with no Ekholm, you have some other players stepping up there. I mean, last night, if we get, another game out of this, decor before Ekholm returns in the third round, this would be phenomenal there. I mean, Nurse and Stetcher back together again, fantastic. Kulak and Bouchard, the first pairing that I wanted, with no Ekholm there, and then Jake Walman and John Klingberg. And I mean, that pairing has, surpassed my expectations, especially with a guy like Jake Walman there, and Kris Knoblauch, also giving his love towards the man, number 96, the greedy man. Jake Walman said we wanted somebody that fit our team. We're good at moving the puck, and we got some offensive players, and we don't want to be a chip and chase off the glass and go chase it down kind of team. We want somebody who makes a good first pass, or our forwards can generate some offense, and he's been doing a lot of that. One unexpected thing that we found out about him is his competitive side and how many block shots he's had, so he's been doing a lot of good things for our team. I don't think we'd be in this position if we hadn't had, a guy like Jake Walman and John Klingberg back in January to our offense, especially when we're missing Ekholm during this time. And it's, noted that, Jake Walman hasn't played some big-time hockey in the NHL. Of course, he's been, with some awful teams in Detroit and San Jose, so when the Oilers acquired him, they knew, this is his first time with playoff hockey, but you know what? He's put that on his shoulders, and he's played phenomenal on the back end for the Edmonton Oilers, becoming a bit of a fan favorite in his first couple games in an Oilers jersey. We all saw him, wreck Mikko Rantanen in that one Oilers Stars game after the trade deadline there. So, the man has been, again, fantastic in an Oiler uniform there. And just, breaking down the Klingberg-Walman pairing, 94 minutes spent together, and again, the analytics, a lot of analytics this episode, but bear with me, it paints a picture here, but these guys, again, the second pairing for the Oilers have been, crucial to their current 3-1 series lead over the Vegas Golden Knights. Kris Knoblauch mentioned block shots there, and Jake Walman, 6th in NHL playoff block shots there with 28, one behind the leader, Esa Lindell of the Dallas Stars. So expect a lot more block shots here from Jake Walman. We saw a lot of block shots from a lot of the Oilers last night. They're getting in the shot lanes of the Vegas Golden Knights and frustrating them, and that's what they will have to continue to do as the Oilers go on the road again against the Vegas Golden Knights, up 3-1 in the series. They head back to Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena tomorrow night. But Kris Knoblauch said, one game at a time. I don't think we're looking at how many games left we have in the series. It's a one-game mentality. When we lost game 3 the way we did, it was forget about it. Let's move on to the next one, and that next one is tomorrow night. Oilers, Golden Knights, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain on Hockey Night in Canada. Should be an excellent one. The Oilers, fighting for a chance to go back to the Western Conference Final for, the third time in 4 years or whatever it was. Amazing run. Pretty much a dynasty for going to the Western Conference Finals, but nothing to show for it, and they want to change that. And the Golden Knights, their backs against the wall, their season on the line there, so should be some fantastic hockey. Now, when it comes to the Oilers, and, managing injuries and how far you get into the playoffs and the rest, the much-needed rest, that comes with the reward of winning a series very early. Kris Knoblauch realizes that, says obviously there's a lot of benefits to winning that next game. One, you don't give that opportunity for Vegas to put together a string of wins, and then also the ability just to have some downtime. Guys can rest and not add on, not add on many more injuries, the bumps and bruises through the playoff season as it goes. Guys get banged up, and it's a physical game, as we talked about, but I think right now that's an extra benefit. So, Kris Knoblauch weighing, the pros and cons. I mean, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, especially with how good of a team Vegas can be. But again, the pros of having more rest time before the third round. But again, knock on wood, folks, the series is not over until it is over. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about a potential Ekholm return. Would you, wait a bit for him to, again, get more healthy as the Western Conference rolls on? And if, it gets really dire, that's when you throw him in? Or would you throw him in from the get-go? Let me know down in the comments. And how pumped are you for Game 5 tomorrow? Again, your excitement, I'm very, very excited to hear about it. And if you haven't already, folks, on the road to 4,000. So make sure you subscribe here to the channel. But enjoy the rest of your day. I mean, we have Jet Stars tonight. That's the only hockey game on. But enjoy that. Should be some interesting scouting going on. But have a great rest of your day, folks. I'm Matt. Take care.